Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this cute capybara applique pattern. Here's how you do it. Okay, this is the video showing how to assemble the capybara block if you're using a light box. So first of all, let me show you my light box setup. I've got some layers here. I've got my light box turned as bright as it'll go. I have a tempered glass cutting board here. You don't need that. I just use it because my ironing board is quite some distance from the well-lit area where I do my recording, and this makes it easier for me to carry it over there. And since it's tempered, I can fuse it right on the cutting board, and I don't have to worry about shifting my pieces anymore at all. I've got my placement guide, and then I have a clear silicone mat. And then I've got all of my pieces cut out and ready to go. So that means I've printed the pieces onto the paper side of paper-backed fusible adhesive. I use Heat and Bond Light for all of my quilts. You can also trace it, but I hate to trace, so I always print it. You fuse it to the back side of your fabric and then cut it out on the solid lines. So you're going to see two things inside some of the pieces. One is a dotted line. All the dotted lines you can ignore. Those are just placement guides, and they're there for people who are not using a light box. The solid lines you don't want to ignore. Those are stitching lines, and you'll need to transfer those to the fabric side of the paper before, the fabric side of the piece before you peel away that backing. So the eyelashes are optional, but I am going to do the eyelashes on this guy. So I'm going to just use a fine tip Sharpie and transfer those lines. And then I'm also going to transfer the mouth on his little muzzle. Oops, I did not do a great job of tracing that. That's okay. And then I'm also going to transfer the eyelashes here. So his eyelashes are so long that they start on his face and continue on his ears. All right, so that is all of our pieces ready to go. Now we're going to start with piece number 1 because the numbers tell us what piece is what, and they also tell us where they go. I mean, in what order we put them down on. So there's piece number 1. Number 2 is his other ear. Go. And then number 3 is his face. So capybaras are pretty uniformly brown. I'm making this one in bright jewel tones for a rainforest bundle that I'm working on. But the ears are usually about the same color as the body. So I've used the same color in mine, but these are 2 different blenders in the Tourmaline Blenders collection. So they're the same hue, but they are slightly different shades and also different patterns. So it helps to make the ears look different than the face. So I shifted this ear around because it's more important to get the eyelashes lined up, and I didn't do a great job of tracing them. So it's more important to get the eyelashes lined up than it is to get the ear positioned exactly in the same place that it is on the placement guide. So number 4 is his little muzzle. And the muzzle is often a little lighter than the face, a little tiny little bit lighter than the face. So I used a slightly lighter hue in the Tourmaline Blenders. Now 5 is the nose. I say Tourmaline Blenders, I should make clear that I designed these fabrics especially for applique, and these are part of my Gemstones collection, color collection, all of which are named. So all of the yellow-orange fabrics in that collection are called tourmaline, so you can easily know what's what and what goes together, what are different shades of the same color. It just makes it easier for you if you're using these blenders. And if you're not using these blenders, you can still print them off and take them, like print off the cover sheet for the collection and take it with you to the fabric store and help you pick colors. All right. That is the finished capybara. Now I want to show you one other thing. This is a separate pattern, the bird, but I did design the bird to be small enough to sit on the capybara's head. So this is one that I already did as using a light box. So I've got all of the pieces fused together and I can treat it like its own thing. So it's a small enough bird that you could tuck him into the side of some animals, but I decided to put him right on the capybara's head. So when I finish this block, I'm going to take this over to the ironing board. I'm going to fuse all these pieces together, and then I will wait for it to cool and then peel it off the silicone mat and put it on the finished block, whatever his final quilt block is going to be. And I'll do all of the outline stitching, and I will bring it back here and show you the finished block, but I'm also going to photograph him with and without the bird. But the finished block is definitely going to have the bird. So you will see the capybara with the bird, and you'll also see 2 capybara blocks in other colors without the bird. Okay, here is one finished capybara block. This one is just the capybara, but I did a couple of extra things with the 2 other samples that I made, so I wanted to show those to you as well. So on this one, I added a little bit of water because they do spend a lot of their lives actually in the water with their little heads poking up. So these waves are a free pattern that you can get at shinyhappyworld.com. Just go to the website and click on free patterns, and you'll see a pattern called Wavy Waves. And it has a few different wave stripes that you can do, either to add water to an applique block or to make a block that just has stripes of waves across it if you want that just as an accent block within your quilt, if you're doing a quilt that has a lot of water locations in it. So that's one option, just add a Wavy Waves strip at the bottom. But I did one more fun thing. In this one, I added the new little bird pattern to the top, so to his head. So you often see capybaras with little birds sitting on their heads. They're very, very friendly animals. So this is a bird pattern that you get a full-size block, but it also has a miniaturized version that I made sure that the size would work within a 10-inch block to be able to sit on a lot of different animals. So you can have this little bird photobomb lots of different blocks that you have. So 3 different ways that you can make the capybara. Again, the pattern's available at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.